beauty of Baltimore's.
We've had perfection from Bionalillo. And champions like Anthony, Durbin, Holman, and Weber, to name a few. We've also had Jason Couch 3 times in a row. Who will it be today? The Dexter Tournament of Champions is next. We are coming to you from the Mohegan Sun Resort and Casino in Uncasville, Connecticut. It's the PBA Dexter Tournament of Champions, our first major of the season. The PBA is live on ESPN. Our 4 finalists are ready to roll. With a win in last season's PBA Pepsi Open, he qualified for the Dexter Tournament of Champions. His 13 career titles include 1 major. From Fort Lauderdale, Florida, our very own ESPN commentator, Randy Pedersen.
All right. Let's get it on.
He won the Miller High Life Open earlier this season to earn his invite here and bowl 2 300 games this week. From Cincinnati, Ohio, the Chief, Brian Himmler. His second career win came 2 weeks ago at the PBA Geico Open and guaranteed him a spot here at the Mohegan Sun. He has 2 career third-place Tournament of Champions finishes from Mexico City, Mexico. Originally Niagara Falls, New York. Patrick Healey Jr.
Come on, everybody.
He started his season with a win at the Japan Cup, which locked up his spot here at the Dexter Tournament of Champions. He has 5 career titles and today makes his 4th TV appearance of the season. From Dallas, Texas, say hello to Chris.
Just leaving the green. Come on.
Welcome to Connecticut, everyone. Dave Ryan, Brian Voss. Let's check in with the matchups for the 2003 Dexter Tournament of Champions.
Semifinal 1 pits the man regularly in this seed, Randy Pedersen, and the Chief, Brian Himmler, who averaged over 245 this week, including 2 300s. In the second semi, 2 former teammates at Wichita State University and fellow Team USA members, Patrick Healey Jr. and Chris Barnes, both looking for their first major title.
And hello again, everyone. Welcome to the Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut. Dave Ryan, the Hall of Famer Brian Voss, filling in for Randy, who's down there. We're glad you're up here with us in the broadcast booth. You've won a major championship. You know what it's about, the pressure, and this year even more at stake.
Intense drama, great competition. This is the best of the best. Champions of champions, the cream of the crop. And there's a lot of prestige in this event. A lot of players would like to add this to their trophy case.
32-man field, Brian, is what we've got as the invitational field. Only $100,000 going to the winner, and a 2-year tour exemption is so important as well.
Well, of the 4 players, Patrick Healey Jr. already exempt for next year. Randy Pedersen is the guy who could stand to gain the most from this. He's 62nd in the points right now. Chris Barnes with his season already exempt, and Brian Himmler with his week already exempt. So Randy Pedersen would probably be the player's favorite.
Brian, our special Tournament of Champions oil pattern, 50 feet long, different than the normal tour stop. 4 right-handers. Does anyone have the advantage today?
Well, they're going to be chasing each other all day long. This week's oil pattern has been tailored specifically for this great tournament and appropriately named the Tournament of Champions pattern. It boasts a length of 50 feet, which is considerably longer than most. Scores start out moderate with players rolling very straight around the second arrow, then moving left. But as the shot develops, there have been some very high scores.
We've had 4 300 games from the round of 32 to this point, 2 of those belonging to Brian Himmler, including one in Game 5 of his round of 8 match with Richie Allen last night. Folks, you do not want to miss the drama, the pressure on our very own Randy Pedersen trying to earn 2-season exemption coming up. Randy needs to win to ensure a spot on the tour for the next 2 seasons. He's head-to-head with Brian Himmler trying to realize his dream of winning a major championship. They square off head-to-head when we return to Uncasville. ESPN's exclusive live coverage of the PBA Dexter Tournament of Champions at Mohegan Sun is brought to you by Dexter Bowling, Golf, and Casual. We have the right shoe for you. By Geico, a 15-minute phone call could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Uniroyal, the official tire of the PBA Tour. Uniroyal tires, trusted by American families since 1892. Our 32-man field of the best bowlers in the world now down to just 4. As we come to you from the Dexter Tournament of Champions, let's find out how the first semifinal, Randy Pedersen, Brian Himmler, got this far on the verge of winning a major championship. In the round of 16, our very own Randy Pedersen faced off against a 3-time defending TOC champion Jason Couch and swept the southpaw 3-0. Randy would keep his momentum going as he faced off against Steve Wilson in the round of 8. It wouldn't be easy as Randy went the full 5 games. He meets Brian Himmler, who in the round of 16 took on Parker Bohm III, the Hall of Fame lefty. He beat Parker 3 games to 1. On to the round of 8, where he would defeat Richie Allen in a match that went the full 5 games. Brian Himmler came from down 2 games to 0 and threw a 300 in the final game and won it 3-2. Now down to the third member of our crew with Brian Himmler, Holly Rowe.
Brian, you have had 300 games twice in the last frame. You've been a strong finisher, but what do you need to do now to get off to a fast start?
Well, hopefully I can shoot 300 again, but not likely, but I hope so. But it'd be good to get off to a good start against Randy. I know he's a great competitor. We're going to have an awesome match.
You've gotten those 300s this week. What's been going right?
Well, actually, as the lanes break down, it's when I become more comfortable, and they're starting to right now, so I'm ready to go.
All right, thanks very much. Dave?
Holly, 21 300 games for the Chiefs' career. 3 have come this year, 2 this week. $100,000 going to the winner. $30,000 for the runner-up, our first major of this PBA season. Thrilling drama, extraordinary pressure. It all begins right now. From Cincinnati, one of 4 righties on the show, it's the Chief, Brian Himmler, getting us underway. Great start.
You know, Brian told me earlier today he recently got engaged. He's got a lot going for him right now. He had a terrible year last year, but everything's going his way right now, and he's really, really comfortable.
Folks, if you're just tuning in, that is our Randy Pedersen competing here on the TV show of the Dexter Tournament of Champions. So much pressure on Randy. 2-season exemption on the line. We'll talk more about that. He's underway. Looking good. Getting some help on the 4-pin. On a ball that was a touch high. Brian Voss with Randy down there and competing. You'll check in with the Baby Ruth Real Deal matchup.
Look at those stats. Brian Himmler averaging 13 pins better than Randy. Strike percentage is also a little bit better. Everything else pretty much the same, but... And you know, as the lanes transpired this week, the first game, you can see that Randy was averaging almost 40 pins better than Brian the first game. But as they develop, that's when Brian really got it going. So Randy needs to take advantage of them right now.
Randy telling us how critical winning today is going to be. An adjustment there. Help! Yes! Takes down number 10.
That'll get your adrenaline going. All right, he knows it's going to be close, but he gets this head pin coming across the wall in kind of a weird way and gets it at the last second. Let's watch him. Oh, thank you.
His very words, Brian, to us last night. Nothing short of a win for Randy Pedersen will be satisfactory because the 2-season exemption, not just the $100,000, it's the exemption. He stands 62nd in points right now. The Chief through the nose for Brian Himmler. And remember, we're in a 1-game format, folks. No matter how hot he's been, as he mentioned with Holly Rowe,
he gets the ball left of target. He's looking at 17. He hit about 19. Fortunate to break up the spare. Just leaves it 3-6-10. And we'll see a very hard straight ball by Brian the Chief Himmler.
Multi-pin conversion's pretty good.
100%.
They call him the Chief because he's the one who organizes the golf outings, the restaurant reservations. Didn't like it, but got some help off the side of the deck. Look out.
Folks, that's not the way you're supposed to pick that up. He's just going to barely touch the 3-pin. It goes to the wall and gets both pins. Yeah, you better smile on that one, Chief.
Better than chopping it, right?
So each getting a break early in our match.
Early breaks.
Sometimes that can be the difference in this one game to the finals format. 4-man field. Normally they're PBA Tour stops. We have 5 with a wild card match. Now we just have the best 4 in the world on center stage. Back to the Chief. Again, looked a little bit high, and the 9 stands for him.
Well, with this long oil pattern, the guys went out there and they practiced. They started around 10, and after about 10 minutes, they get into about 12, 13, and you know, when they turn the lights on, guys just jumped right on in there to 4th arrow.
Single pin conversions. The Chief at 92.8%. Chris Barnes, we'll see him later today against fellow Wichita State Shocker alum Patrick Healey. He's been perfect.
Well, when you're averaging 248 like Chris, you're not leaving very many spares. All right, if you were a betting man and you were to look at some of those stats where Randy's averaging 230 the first game and Brian 190, you got to be betting on Randy. Increase his lead to an early 21 pins with a strike here.
Won in Philly last year, last time we saw him on TV. Even 30 for his career.
Dig in there, Fear Factor! Yeah, Fear Factor! Come on, brown ball.
He likes the ball. He is a Storm guy, and he likes the reaction. The best place for all the latest PBA info is the Tour's official website at PBA.com. While the pros are taking a break, you can relive all the best moments from the first half of the season via archived ESPN telecasts and tournament results. All that and more at PBA.com. Turkey ball for a 21-pin lead.
So much at stake for Randy right now. As we said earlier, Brian exempt for next year. Just, you know, $100,000 is a lot of money, but 2 years exemption could be worth more than $100,000.
Wants to take care of his family back home. Becky, his wife, daughter Savannah, 7, Chad, his son is 4. Perfect ball, flush in the pocket for Randy. And he's feeling it. Randy Peterson starting this week, 62nd place on the PBA points list. There are no points awarded this week. So this is why a victory, Brian, as you mentioned, is absolutely critical at this stage of the season for Randy. Top 50 winners and points leaders get in automatically to the exempt tour next year. This is a 2-year exemption.
2 years.
To be won. Big ball from Himler in response. We know the Chief is already in.
Well, we're going to show you a perfect shot. He's looking at 19, he hit 21. I think he moved a little left. The 6-pin goes to the wall, snaps the 10 out, which Brian does quite frequently with that great power ball that he has.
So now Himler works on a double chance for a 21-pin deficit. Randy with a front 4 already. Great start for him. Last TV major for Himler. 4th place, the TOC in 99. Chance here. That looked definitely light on the release. You could see a lane level look to it, not finding the pocket.
And a very, very difficult conversion here. He's got the 2, 5, 7, 9. It's not a spare that pros leave frequently. Very difficult.
The match with Richie Allen last night, down 0-2, won 3 straight. These are all best of 5, unlike regular tour stops, which are best of 7 in the match play from round of 32 through the round of 8. Threw a 300 in the 5th game, so he's responded to pressure before. However, the 7 stands. It's an open.
Well, you heard him say thanks. That's because he thought he had it. He did everything he was supposed to. He's going to get the ball right between the 2-pin and the 5-pin. It's supposed to go to the wall and hit it, but it went right around it. Bad break early. And a big hole he's dug himself.
Little payback from the bowling gods after he had the reaction off
It
the
all
wall before.
out.
Back to Randy. Flush in the pocket, 60 feet to success for our very own Randy Pedersen. 9-4 in match play this week with a 232 average. He got by Steve Wilson in 5 last night. Brian, that was a thriller. Won by 1 pin in game 4. Just had enough pins for count at the end.
And he threw the last 3 strikes in the 5th game to force Steve Wilson to double, and he came up short. So he's getting it done in the 10th frame when he needs it.
Looks for the front six here. 53-pin lead already. Possible six-bagger for Randy Pedersen. You better just a beautiful shot. 6 in a row for our Randy Pedersen. He has got a huge lead of 63 pins. The Dexter Tournament of Champions is underway. When we come back, we'll hear about the great Pete Weber and his success in this event. The 1987 Tournament of Champions was Pete Weber's very first win at a major. He did it the hard way as he qualified 5th and would have to win 4 matches on his way to the title. After defeating Mike Albee, Mark Roth, and Art Trask, he beat Jim Mershaw in the title match of that TOC. The first major of Pete's PBA Triple Crown by winning the Tournament of Champions. Pete won the title his father Dick Weber was never able to capture. The TOC for PDW. Now it's a great moment for the fabulous PDW Pete Weber. On the verge of greatness is our Randy Pedersen with a front 6. En route to a 300 game. Normally Randy breaks down the Dexter approach from our announce booth. Today does it for the wins.
All right, well, I have a 5-step approach and a really high backswing, so it's crucial for me to get off to a good start. If I get too fast and I get the ball down too quick, the ball's going to get behind me early, and I'm going to grab it on the way down because my swing is going to get too steep. So it's crucial that I get off to a good start so I don't grab it at the bottom. So what I try to think about is just staying nice and slow, take some deep breaths, exhale, and then go. Make sure that I get off to a nice, slow, and smooth start. That's not bad. Well, that's this week's Dexter approach.
Even though he's not up here in the booth, he's still contributing on the air today on ESPN's coverage of the PBA Tour. Dave Ryan, Brian Voss, the Hall of Famer, and Holly Rowe with us. Leslie Goodell is expecting.
Halfway through the match, Brian Himmler can strike out for 237. Randy going at a 240 pace, so Brian needs to start striking every ball.
And that's not the way to do it, through the nose.
You gotta be kidding me.
For the Chief.
Gee. You're making him look easy, Randy.
And there we see his fiancée, Jules. And Mom and Pop rooting Brian on.
Parents Brad and Kathy in the stands coming from Cincinnati. And one back home at the Cherry Grove Bowling Center, the Chiefs' home center, watching closely today, we're sure. We talked about the spare conversions with Chris Barnes. He's still to come against Patrick Healey Jr., the other semifinal. Looks like Randy Pedersen will be in the finals the way things are going now.
Help!
Although Himler does pick up the spare.
Well, he does just what you're supposed to do. Get it between the 3-6 with a little hook, carry out the 9-pin, but nah, he says, oh, darn it, I started a little bit too late. The most I can get is 220. Randy, on the other hand, 6 frames halfway to perfection.
Brian Himmler is in the All-Exempt Tour next year. He won at the Miller High Life Open, Chicagoland, earlier this swing. Got by Parker Bone III and Mika Koivuniemi for his title. So he's tasted victory.
Right on.
That's right on, for sure, Brian. But after that win, Brian Voss, en route to his Dexter Tournament of Champions TV appearance, not so much success for the Chief until now.
No. You know, he'll look at this. It's not over yet. I mean, it certainly doesn't look good, but Randy Pedersen for 7 in a row.
7-bagger, gotta hurry. 7-pin stays up.
Wow. That's pretty good there.
We're going to see a replay. He's going to get the ball just a little right. The ball hits the 5-pin. It goes there. Doesn't going to hit it. 2 chances. No 300 today, but make the spare, stay clean, and you'll go to the final match.
Picks up the mark. 62-pin lead for our very own Randy Pedersen, competing from the broadcast booth to the bowling lane. He goes.
His first 300 game.
A reference to our producer, Mike Roth, along with director Scott Katz. Once again, their great crew bringing all the sights and sounds of the PBA. Our producer, Mike, has been known to jinx a few 300 games.
Push. Thank you.
He's back on track.
We're just going to see a perfect shot here, well balanced at the foul line, everything the way you're supposed to do. 10 in the pit. He should be very relaxed now and thinking about that championship match. To have any chance, it's not over yet. We never know in this game, but he must strike on every ball or it is over.
There's one. A late break for the Chief. He didn't like it
Here
much.
I come.
A little bit late, right? Tonight, Michael Strahan, the New York Giants, trying to put a stop to Deuce McAllister and the New Orleans Saints, trying to make a late season playoff push. Giants and Saints tonight, 8:30 Eastern Time. Also available in stunning high definition on ESPN HD. It all starts with NFL Prime Time presented by Miller Lite at 7:30 Eastern Time. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Giants coach Jim Fossil squarely on that hot seat. Perhaps his last season with the G-Men.
Any chance in this match, he must strike on this ball.
He's down 42, so be down 42, and he does with that strike.
Well, with that strike, it basically makes Randy fill one of the next 2 frames.
6 next year, please.
Any kind of a spare strike in the next 2 frames, and Randy will go on.
Yeah.
Hasn't missed the pocket yet.
Carry! Yes! Yes, yes, yes! Yeah!
Well, he sealed the deal right there with just a perfect shot.
Carry! Yes! Yes, yes, yes!
That's an exciting man right now.
Just 3 pins needed here, Brian.
I don't think that's going to be a problem.
He was in the pocket the entire match.
One more, come on.
And he's wrapped it up. He is off to the finals to take on either Patrick Healey Jr. or Chris Barnes. 2 more right-handers. Our very own ESPN commentator, Randy Pedersen, is on the verge of a 2-season exemption and $100,000. He's bowled so well all week. Withstands the run of Brian Himmler.
What an outstanding game. He really outbowled Brian Himmler.
Take it in, man.
You see the handshake.
Healey Barnes, that's coming up next.
Daddy loves you.
Other semifinal. Randy talking to his kids back home. Chad and Savannah, his wife Becky. Patrick Healey Jr. from Niagara Falls, New York, and now Mexico City, Mexico is watching as well. Randy is through.
What an outstanding game. 278, every ball in the pocket.
Kids, one more. Daddy needs one more win, kids. Come on.
You think the Peterson kids are excited back home in South Florida?
Hey,
I
Brian, that's for you guys.
would imagine so. Thank you, Randy. It's been incredible to watch.
Very nice week from Brian Himmler. 2 300 games this week.
Stuff around this ferry or on the practice.
Randy is very emotional. We saw that last night. Tears were flowing freely after he won his match.
Well, at this stage of your life, and particularly Randy's life, it means a lot more than it used to in the younger days. You never know when you can win again, when you have an opportunity to win, and this is it means a lot right now.
All right, Brian. Great week, buddy.
We're still yet to win game 1 of any match this week.
One more shot here for Himmler. That'll end his week at the Tournament of Champions. Remember, no points going out to any of the bowlers here. It was all for the big money. He'll take home $10,000. He's exempt already. Randy Pedersen needs the exemption, the 2-season exemption, which is on the line. The other semifinals should be a great matchup as well. Patrick Healey Jr., Chris Barnes. They're 2-2 head-to-head on TV. But for now, the moment belongs to our very own Randy Pedersen. He's off to the finals. Thanks to a 278-227 win at the Mohegan Sun Casino and Resort, our very own Randy Pedersen through to the final to take on either Patrick Healey Jr. or Chris Barnes. Inside the Mohegan Sun Arena, jam-packed house, 2,000 plus, our largest crowd of this season. Last season belonged to Walter Ray Williams Jr., won the most money in tour history for a single season. 10 TV appearances, but none this year. He's joined now by our Holly Rowe.
We're here with Walter Ray, and tell me a little bit about last year, set the earnings record. This year's been a little bit different for you. How do you describe the difference between the two?
Well, last year I had an exceptional year. I made a lot of TV appearances, did very well in the major tournaments, winning 2 and finishing second the other one. Got a lot of money from those tournaments. And this year, I haven't been.
This is a particularly difficult tournament. It's the missing crown in your triple crown. How do you think someone can come in here and win?
Well, you have to bowl well, and you have to get a few breaks. All the guys that made it here to TV bowled very well during the week, and they got a break or 2 here during the matches, but it's obviously great bowling they've done this week.
All right. Thanks very much, Walter Ray.
Holly, Walter Ray was prophetic when before the season he said he probably wouldn't catch Earl Anthony's record of 41 career titles. He's still 4 short and hasn't won yet this year. Chris Barnes, the final game in every TV Arena Championship round. He's 1-1. Trying for his second victory of this season. He won in Japan. He won last year in Dallas. And he takes on Patrick Healey Jr. 2 former Wichita State bowlers head-to-head. USA competitors as well. It's next. ESPN's exclusive live coverage of the PBA Dexter Tournament of Champions at Mohegan Sun is brought to you by Bayer Aspirin. Take it for pain, take it for life. By new Odor Eaters Plus, the only arch-supporting insole that protects against odor and wetness. And by Cambridge Credit Counseling. Log on to nodebt.com and find out how good it feels to be debt-free. Randy Pedersen, our ESPN commentator, is 278, the highest game in TOC history since a 299 thrown by Don Johnson at the 1970 Tournament of Champions. That's why he's through. Either take on Barnes or Healey. Chris Barnes, 18th on the tour, wants a win. Healey's already exempt. Lots of pressure. How did they get this far? Patrick Healey Jr. in the round of 16 took on Steve Jarris. Healey would throw a perfect 300 game en route to a 3-1 victory. One of 4 300s thrown at the TOC this year. Then it was on to the round of 8 where he'd go the 5 full game distance against Norm Duke and would beat him to advance in today's telecast. Chris Barnes would defeat Walter Ray Williams Jr. in the round of 16 by sweeping last year's Player of the Year 3-0. Then in the round of 8, he beat Ricky Ward 3 games to 1. That would be Chris Barnes' only loss all week in match play from the round of 32 to this point. Let's go down to Holly and Chris Barnes.
Here with Chris Barnes. And Chris, back in 1999, you were 1 pin away from winning this championship. What did you learn in that experience that will help you today?
Well, I've learned lots of things. I'm able to calm myself down a lot better in this environment, and this environment is as crazy as it gets. So we're looking forward to a good match today.
You're 100% on your spares so far in the tournament. How much confidence does that give you going into this match?
Well, not a lot, because if I shoot too many of them, I still won't win.
Good philosophy. Thanks very much. Good luck.
Thanks.
Dave?
Holly was 5th at the ABC Masters in 2000. He has not won a major championship in what has been a great career for Chris Barnes so far. Neither is Patrick Healey Jr., who won his 2nd career title a couple weeks back, the Geico Open, West Babylon, New York, Long Island. Also won outside Kansas City in October of '02. Big matchup begins. Semis now.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, my. It was high right through the nose. And now he's got the 4-7, the 6 to contend with. What a split.
Well, we're going to watch this. We don't know if it was a bad shot or not because they were still fishing during the break. They weren't quite lined up. You know, obviously that was the wrong move. He's going to have to make an adjustment. This doesn't count as a spare. It's just a split. He's going to go hard and 9 out. Not the way you want to start.
Not the start you'd want. Chris told us last night how critical a good start is. Sometimes the pressure can really hit a peak for the bowler after the guy who has the open.
That's
because you try to take advantage.
Yeah. But both players seem to struggle during practice.
Late trip, 7-pin goes down. Gives us time, Brian Voss, to check in with the Baby Ruth real deal matchup between these two.
As we look at these stats, Chris Barnes averaging 10 pins higher than Patrick Healey, but his spare percentage 100%. Didn't miss one all week long.
Hoping for that good start.
Patrick Healey last night against Norm Duke needed to strike out in the 4th game to extend it to 5. He did it, started with the first 7. Now he finds himself here today.
Really a straight path to the pocket for Patrick Healey Jr., who's taking a look at the approach here at Uncasville and make sure footwork is to his liking.
Patrick, a little bit left of 5th arrow there. That's extremely deep for this early in the stage, and I tell you what, he's got a double. That's what it's all about.
Way high, Brooklyn strike. It crosses over the head pin. He'll gladly take that break and tips his imaginary hat to the crowd.
I got that out of the way now.
Well, lanes change so quickly. That was just a lucky break. Not a very good shot. He's basically 2 bad shots in a row. He did manage to get 1 strike out of him, but it's early. We're going to expect probably a 5-board move with his feet here. He needs to get left of where Randy started at the end of his match and right about where Patrick Healey is. So we'll see if that happens.
Very key point. 4 right-handers on the different oil pattern. A little high there, just a touch, and a 4-pin for Chris Barnes. A 9-1 match play record, a 248.20 average, including a 3-1 win over Ricky Ward in the round of 8.
Looks like he got me to get him on cruise control. Cruise past Walter Ray, and then just had 1 bad game against Ricky Ward.
A couple of Hall of Famers, including you, got dispatched there by Chris Barnes. Now, quickly, Brian, back to the point.
Shot either.
The high friction ball in practice, really a dull ball used by all the bowlers to try to set the trend where they want the ball to go toward the pocket. Because we've already had a match, and the TV pair here not used as often as the other lanes. These are lanes 3 and 4. The 300 games only came on 5 and 6 this week. What kind of factor are we looking at with all the friction balls being used?
Well, anticipation is one of the ingredients that professional bowlers got to have. They got to have good anticipation. You can see Patrick Healey's line. He's left of where Randy was. He's left of where Chris Barnes was. And I think he's playing the lanes the right way.
Brian, today at 4 o'clock Eastern on ESPN, the top 15 contestants in bareback riding, steer wrestling, team roping, saddle bronc riding, tie-down roping, barrel racing, and bull riding. Did you get all that? Are all ready to compete at the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. Don't miss the final round today at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on ESPN from Las Vegas. What a spectacular event that is. For more, log on to ESPN.com. 4-bagger, chance for Patrick Healey. No help.
Ooh, boy.
7. And the 6 are up.
Right through the nose, leaves a 6-7 split. Let's watch where it goes. It looked like it was right about in the same spot, maybe a little soft with the speed. Now he's going to have to get it to the right of the 6-pin, slide it over.
Almost kicked it across the deck for the 7-pin. Came so close, but an open frame as well for Patrick Healey Jr. after Barnes had one to begin this semifinal match. For Patrick Healey Jr., there's his road all the way, including another legend in Norm Duke in 5 last night. Match play record of 9-4 and a 238 average to get this far. One of his 300 games came against Steve Jarris. 1 of 4 thrown so far here at the TLC. Chris Barnes won't have one here and leaves the 10.
We saw him get in front of the ball return. We didn't see that all week long. The guys were out there practicing for a half hour. We're going to see this ball left of the 5th arrow. It was a good move and a kind of an ugly 10-pin. He'll admit that. Hard and straight at the 10. He hasn't missed one all week long.
Trying to stay perfect and wins though with 18 milliliters of oil on this oil pattern. Chris really felt, and we know what a technician he is, that he had a great feel and a layout
Trigger.
for taking this championship. He was very confident last night.
I've watched Chris bowl an awful lot, and he's very, very good at playing lanes. Very good. He's great at anticipation. He'll make moves that you say, where did that come from? And you'll see it, and he'll throw 3-4 in a row just like that. So he's very experienced. It's early in the match. Anything can happen.
99 Kansas City, the TOC Finals lost to Jason Couch.
Freeze.
3 in a row. Didn't like it one bit. Again, it's high.
Well, he totally changed his line out here. He went right to second arrow. Wasn't a good move. 3-10. He's not comfortable on the lanes right now. And when you're feeling like that, you can only hope and pray that your opponent just doesn't get those strikes together. 3-10 split.
Not easy trying to pick one up here. Does cover it beautifully.
Very nice.
Still down 20 pins to Patrick Healey Jr. in this semifinal.
And you're going to see the ball just barely nick that 3-pin. It was enough to knock it down. He's only 20 pins down.
After the turkey to start for Healey. Open frame in the 4th. 5th frame, up 20. Flush in the pocket. Oh, 10 in the pit for Patrick Healey Jr. Who has got his wife Teresa here, stepson Victor, who is 15 years old.
These two guys have a lot of history together, and it's not so much bad blood or anything like that. They bowl together as teammates, Team USA together. They've watched each other bowl. They know each other's game. And if I were Chris Barnes right now, I'd probably be looking at where this ball is on, where it rolls on this left lane. Because Chris is going to have to make some sort of big move. Hoping that he doesn't strike, though.
7 pin.
Almost another split. Fortunately, to break it up, leaves just the 7.
Fry City in that lane.
Fry City. What does that mean, folks? That means they're starting to burn up. They're starting to hook. And that means farther left.
We have a 50-foot oil pattern here. It's different than the normal tour stop. Not A through E. It's a special TOC lane pattern. And it can be at times mystifying for some bowlers. In this case, Patrick Healey a bit confused. That wasn't the case without Randy Pedersen with a great start for him at a 278. Right now, Healey Jr. has himself a 20-pin lead. When we come back, we'll find out how other bowlers have done. Plus, relive history with Marshall Holman. The 1986 Tournament of Champions would be the second of Marshall Holman's TFC titles, the last major of the Hall of Famer's career. After qualifying as the tournament leader, he defeated Mark Baker in the championship match. Marshall's first Tournament of Champions title came 10 years earlier in 1976, tying Mike Durbin for the most number of years between TFC victories. Part of the great Marshall Holman's Hall of Fame career, the 86 TOC. Who will join Marshall Holman and make history? 3 bowlers remain. We started with 32 in this invitation-only field. Teresa on the right, Patrick Healey Jr., his wife, stepson Victor, who is 15, turned 16 years old on February 24th, and he's been driving Dad's car back home in Mexico City, which we're told was quite an adventure.
I'll bet.
Crazy traffic patterns down there.
Well, Chris Barnes in his own little adventure down there. This is the 3rd ball he's used in only 6 frames.
He's been moving, and look at a crossover again for a Brooklyn strike. Second of the match, the technician.
Well, he is totally lost right now. He's about as far left as you can get, throwing it over the left gutter, and it still wasn't enough. He's got 4 frames to figure something out. 4 frames. He's only 20 pins down, and he's got a lucky strike. Leading on it can reduce it to 10. And he has really struggled on this left lane. Let's see what he does.
Can he figure it out? Such a cerebral player. Understands so much about the technical aspect of the game. Yes. That's his best ball of the day. That flush in the pocket finally for Barnes, who reduces the deficit to 10 pins with a double now into the 7th.
A little more ball speed, still left of the 5th arrow, playing about 27. Perfect result, something that Patrick Healey didn't want to see, especially after a lucky strike. Patrick bowled very well on this right lane. Struck 3 times, all perfect.
Seventh frame. Healey Jr. Huge shot.
And there's another perfect one.
Hey, you throw it good right there, buddy. That's how you throw it good.
I think he was talking to Chris there.
Hey, Brian Voss, Hall of Famer, Holly Rowe, filling in for Leslie Goodell. She and her husband are expecting their first child. Congratulations, good luck to them. And Holly will be with us for the majors we'll have on ESPN this year. Glad to have her on our team.
Patrick working on a strike. 10 pins can increase it to 20, but he's had trouble on this lane. He split once, almost split the last time. See if he can do something a little different.
Frame, he was talking to it, looking for a late trip on the 7, and he won't get it. And that's where the oil starts breaking down. The lights in this arena setting.
Pretty good adjustment.
Where is the friction? That's the question. The others who made our exclusive invitation-only field, 32, how they finished, including Eugene McCune and Mike Devaney. Wow. Just unhappy again with some footwork issues.
He seems to be sticking at that foul line. He's letting everyone know that he's not happy with what's going on out there on those approaches.
So Chris Barnes, who told us last night how into the mental aspect of the game he is, into focus. He's worked hard with a sports psychologist, takes a re-rack here to think it over a little bit.
Well, he's not focusing on his mechanics right now. He's really trying to figure out, what do I got to do? Where do I stand? What's my speed?
One of his slogans, trying to move on quickly from any adversity. For Chris Barnes, that's what, so what, now what?
Now?
The now is figuring out the
ball
oil pattern, the breakdown.
Number 4. Ball number 4. He's back to the right. He's going to play a little more direct line, a little more speed. Let's see if it works.
Get close. Hit it. Yeah!
10 pin goes down late. A lot more speed, Brian Voss. You had that nailed exactly. Really getting his rev rate up high.
All right, we're going to look at the first frame. He's in front of the ball return, left of the 5th arrow. Now we see the 3rd frame. Even farther left, but that ball hooks too much. And now the match all even with 2 frames to go.
4-bagger possible here. 10-pin lead for Barnes. Charging back. It's high, though. Right through the nose. Leaves the 6-10.
Fortunate enough to break up that split. Seems to indicate that he felt like he made a good shot. He just didn't play the lanes right. But once again, 100% spare conversion, and he needs one more right now. 9th frame, he's only 2 pins down.
Picks up the 6-10. Chris Barnes had lunch with Major Mika Koivunemu, won in Windsor Locks, Connecticut last week. They talked about career goals and how Mika checked off so many just with one day off the TOC bubble.
Oh, he's had a great season.
The big money. And Teresa and Victor watching closely. Teresa, a great bowler herself, has bowled for Mexico national teams many times in her great career. Victor does not bowl, though. Yes! Like watching that. However, big shot from his stepdad.
One more time. One more time.
Today, Tiger Woods, Masters champion Mike Weir, British Open champion Ben Curtis and Vijay Singh head a field of the top 16 golfers on the planet. Don't miss the Target World Challenge presented by Williams. That's today at 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC Sports.
All right, folks, Patrick Healey on the left lane. He hasn't struck the last 3 times, but if he strikes on this ball and gets 9 or better, he'll advance to the last match against Randy Pedersen. Anything less than a strike, Chris Barnes can still win this match.
This is a huge shot then.
Oh, what a pretty shot.
It wasn't a Brooklyn, it wasn't your best, but it got the job done.
All right, you know, players know when they let go of the ball. This wasn't his best shot, but being that he's playing the lanes correctly, the ball went dead flush. Thank you, he said. It's not done yet. He still needs 9 pins. 8 spare, we could have a tie. 7, he could still lose. But 9 spare or a strike, and he will win this semi and go on to meet Randy.
told us his all-time goal to win a major. What a dream come true it would be. That came in light. Ooh. Just a 6-pin count.
We talked about drama, folks. It's not over yet. All right, he probably just didn't. It looked like he hit his target, just didn't catch it with the fingers, leaves the 2-4-5-8 bucket, and gives Chris Barnes an opportunity to go up there and throw 2 strikes in good count to win this match on a lane that he's had a lot of trouble with.
2 strikes, 9 to win then for Barnes coming up. Doesn't take care of the bucket. That changes now thanks to the open 7 to win after the 2 strikes required for Chris Barnes. An open frame, disastrous timing for Patrick Healey Jr. Foundation frame couldn't have possibly come at a worse time for him.
Well, the ball that he chose is the one in the 8th frame, is the one he's going to use right now in the 10th frame. We're going to see a very similar, a little harder, right around the 4th arrow. Must strike.
Hook! Hook! Hit! Oh! Didn't get
and it
the
doesn't
7. Fall.
Patrick Healey will advance to the finals against Randy Pedersen, but a good shot from Chris.
The emotional roller coaster, folks, is unmatched here at the Tournament of Champions.
Had 2 pins surrounding that 7-pin. Neither one of them hit it, and right there, the whole week is gone in one shot.
And he misses the 7, but it won't matter. The match is over. What a great week for Chris Barnes, who will not win his first ever major championship.
Yes, Norm. Yes, Norm.
Those are the finalists, Peterson and Healey Jr. That's all coming up. We'll hear about Jason Couch and his unbelievable 3-peat, the first ever to do that at this event. When we return to Connecticut. 32nd time in PBA history. We are in the great state of Connecticut, returning to this incredible Mohegan Sun Casino and Resort in Uncasville, Connecticut, in the southeast part of the state. Patrick Healey Jr. will take on Randy Pedersen in the final. As we welcome you back. Only 2 men have ever won the TOC 3 times, Mike Durbin and Jason Couch. We look at Couch's 3-peat in this week's Miller milestone.
3 different formats, 3 different bowling centers, and I've seemed to come up on top all 3 years. You know that it's going to be gut check every single time you step up in the 10th frame in that tournament, because there's nobody there that's never tasted victory. The sweetest by far was the first one, only because growing up, you bowl in your home house every day as a kid, thinking to yourself, I've got to get up and throw 3 strikes in the 10th to win the Tournament of Champions. And that's what I had to do in my first one to beat Chris Barnes. The second TSC was probably the lowest scoring Tournament of Champions that I've ever bowled. When I made the telecast there, I just looked at myself the next morning in the mirror and I said, if you bowl 10 clean frames tonight on TV, you're going to win. And I bowled 10 clean frames and I won by 30 pins. In the third TSC, I bowled against Kurt Pelon, which was very difficult because we were actually rooming together that week. The round of 8 match against Richie Allen was a blur. I got out on top of him 2 games to none. I ended up doubling in the 10th to lock Richie out to make the show. Maybe it's because you grew up all your life dreaming of winning that tournament once. And it's just still hard for me to believe that I've won 3 tournament champions in a row.
This week's Miller High Life milestones for Jason Couch. Patrick Healey Jr. has won 2 titles. 1 came this year on the island. Randy has the only major of our field. We'll hear from Jason Couch next. In 1974, Earl Anthony would win the first of his 2 Tournament of Champions titles. That year, he knocked off Johnny Petraglia in the title match by only 3 pins, 216 to 213. The great left-hander Earl Anthony, the all-time leader with 41 career titles. 10 of those were major championships. That list includes 4 years later, 1978, Earl qualified as a tournament leader and would defeat Tita Semez in the title match, taking home the 2nd TOC title in his impressive Hall of Fame career. This invitational started in 1965. Billy Hardwick, San Mateo, California, won it All those years ago. Now we're to this ultra-modern facility, the Mohegan Sun Casino Resort. Dave Ryan, Brian Voss, Holly Rowe, all with you. Randy Pedersen is competing. He's in the final against Patrick Healey Jr. coming up. We've got time to check in with the days in on the road. We resume our season the second half of the year, 1 o'clock Eastern time. Presented by Storm, it's the PBA Earl Anthony Classic out in Tacoma. It's an arena final as well. Tickets are available on PBA.com. And Medford, Oregon, in addition to the ABC Masters, January 25th in Reno, Nevada. Plenty of regionals to talk about during this holiday break for the PBA bowlers in Illinois, Texas, Ohio, Virginia, Delaware. And we go down to Holly Rowe.
Well, Dave, we're here with Jason Couch, who is a 3-time winner of this prestigious event. Jason, how does it feel sitting on the side watching this time?
Very unusual. It's been 4 years since I haven't been in that title match, and it was a good experience for me this week. I bowled well, but I ran into a buzzsaw on Randy Pedersen. He's been bowling phenomenal all week.
Speaking of Randy Pedersen, you see how this final matches up with he and Patrick Healey Jr. Who do you like to win it?
I'd have to go with Randy only because he's got the major experience. He won the PBA National Championship, and he's got a lot more titles than Patrick. I think Randy's ready to be in the winner's circle again.
You've been very vocal this year about your goal to be Player of the Year. How's that going so far?
Not as good as I had hoped. I plan on coming out and winning a lot early, but these are the best in the world. You can't beat them every week. But it's time someone knocked Walter Ray off his stoop at being #1 in the world, and I think I'm ready to do it.
All right. Well, good luck the rest of the way. It's Jason Couch. Dave, back up to you.
Jason, one of 9 winners, Holly, we've had on the PBA Tour this year. Randy Pedersen, it's been a while. Philly, last year, he beat Chris Barnes in the final. Can he win another championship? We'll find out. The jam-packed Mohegan Sun Arena, Uncasville, Connecticut, as we get set for the finals. Our very own Randy Pedersen and Patrick Healey Jr. That is coming up. Patrick very hot in the semis. Tonight, Michael Strahan of the New York Giants trying to stop Deuce McAllister and the New Orleans Saints trying to make a late season playoff push. Giants Saints tonight, 8:30 Eastern, also available in stunning high definition on ESPN HD. It all starts with NFL primetime presented by Miller Lite at 7:30 Eastern time. So, Brian Voss, chance to fill in here as Randy's replacement. He's on the verge of history and a 2-season exemption. How do you feel things play out against Patrick Healey Jr. in the finals?
Well, we have a very established player in Randy Pedersen, 13-time titleist. He's won a major title. He's excited. He's pumped up. He knows what's at stake. Excuse me. But Patrick Healey Jr., I tell you what, folks, he's starting to gel. He's coming into his own. He just won a tournament 2 weeks ago. He's striking out when he needs to. I think we're going to have a close match. Time now for the Geico Direct Championship recap to see how we got this far, starting with a field of 4 bowlers all the way to the final match. The Geico Direct Championship recap. It was Randy Pedersen over Brian Himmler, defeating him 278 to 227. Randy with 10 of 12 strikes. In the semifinal number 2, it was Healey defeating Chris Barnes by the score of 210 to 192, setting up a fantastic championship match between 2 great bowlers for the Dexter Tournament of Champions title. So the finalists are set. Healey Jr. and Randy Pedersen joined now laneside by our Holly Rowe.
Well, Dave, we're here with our 2 finalists. And Patrick, you have not been a winner in a major yet. What will it take to put you over the top today?
Well, hopefully Randy won't do what he did the first game. That'll be a start. And after that, just some good fortune and some good shot making.
You said that you like to be a focused technician. You didn't quite close the door on that last match. How have you refocused to close the door on this one?
Well, I learned something from the lane condition and having some time to practice again. I kind of understand what they're doing now, so hopefully that'll play into my hands, and we'll see if we can take it home.
All right, thanks very much. And Randy, for you, your last major win in 1987. What is it like now to be in the final at another major?
It's an unbelievable situation for me, and I'm going up against one of the greatest players on our tour, and I'm going to have to do what I did the first game to beat Patrick Healey Jr.
How do you avoid thinking of all the pressure, the money, and the exemptions that are on the line?
That's what we're trained to do. We're professionals, and you shoe up. Jason Couch said it great a couple weeks ago. That's why we have pro cards. You put all that stuff behind you, and you focus at the job at hand, and that's just to get up and make good shots.
All right, well, good luck, guys. David, back to you.
Remember, Holly, what Randy told us last night. Nothing short of a victory for him today will be satisfactory. If he does win $100,000, Patrick Healey Jr. or Randy will take home at least $30,000. Well, the runner-up. We are down to our final 2 First major of our season. Extraordinary pressure and drama now unfolds before you.
Be interesting to see how far left Patrick is going to be. I imagine he's going to be about the 28th board right there.
Yeah.
Perfect start.
Good start. Good start.
All right, folks, we're going to watch this ball go right between the 5th and 6th arrow. Actually, closer to the 6th arrow. He's probably playing about 28, but look at the result. That's playing lanes correctly. Let's see if Randy can keep it going.
Got the great start in his first game. Flirting with the 300. 278. Not a bad first game for him. He stays hot. Gives us a chance to check in with a Baby Ruth real deal matchup, Brian.
Look at these stats. Almost identical. 10 and 4, all the averages, strikes, spare conversions. If that's the indication of what this match is going to be like, it's going to be real close, down to the 10th frame.
Red hot in that first match. We talked about the 278, the highest game TOC history since Don Johnson back in 1970 through a 299 game. Can he stay hot? Lane level look at it. Comes in high.
Just a little soft with the speed, right through the nose. Pays the maximum penalty, 4.67. Not as far left as Patrick on that left lane. He's just going to try and get 9 out, throw it hard, maybe bounce him out. Not to be.
So the 6th stance for Randy Pedersen, an open frame early, but as you know very well, open frames are better early on the match than later when they
they are.
Absolutely kill you. So early a 12-pin lead for Healey Jr. Just 2 titles as we talked about early in the broadcast. Never won a major.
And folks, Patrick on this right lane was on there 5 times last game. 5 perfect shots. So we have to say that this is his favorite. And it still is.
Some help on the 4-pin, Brian. Late little trip for him. He'll take it gladly.
Good break. Good break.
Patrick with a great style. We're going to look at his balance, and you see that every time he lets go of the ball, a little bit high, but he didn't trip the 4. The 2-pin actually nicked it. It's the first 2 strikes, trying to increase his lead after 3 frames to 32.
Holly talked with both bowlers before this final. You see the finishes last year. Patrick did make this TOC. Patrick told us. That's good. Yeah! That one all the way. Perfect flush in the pocket. That last year the experience was unique because of the noise. The high ceiling here at this beautiful arena. It was a very intense atmosphere he wasn't expecting. And he said last night, hey, I learned from that. And I should be better off today in this arena setting.
Well, as each year goes by and each tournament goes by, you know, you get more experience. And that's just what it's all about. You can see that he's a different man these last few weeks. And Randy himself gets the little last-minute 4-pin. Yep, Randy's in front of the ball return. We're watching that hit about the 27th board. Still a little bit high. He's going to even have to move a little further left. But this a key shot. He's down 32. He can decrease that to 22 pins with a strike here. Don't want to give your opponent a huge advantage early.
4th frame, looks for the double. Could be down 22.
Oh!
8-pin.
What a
solid.
Beautiful shot for 9. Sigh of relief from Patrick Healey.
That is a really bad thing to happen.
Solid 8. You see those pins go right around it. It's the bowler's
Especially
worst
when you
enemy.
open in the second,
He knows it's close. Still early. Make the spare. You're only down 32 pins.
Especially since that's the first one I've left all week.
Picks up the 8-pin. Successful there, however, is down 32 pins in this championship match to Patrick Healey Jr. Who takes home the big prize and the exemption, we'll find out. Who will take home this year's Dexter Tournament of Champions from the jam-packed Mohegan Sun Arena? Randy or Patrick Healey Jr.? Time now, Brian, for the Uniro Tower Rock and Roll.
Well, in semi number one, it was the second frame that really got Randy loosened up. We're going to watch the head pin go to the wall and do what we love. Roll over there and at the last minute, knock that 10 pin down. That'll get you loose, and it did get him loose as he threw 10 of 12 strikes that game.
This week's Uniroyal Tire Rock and Roll from here at the TOC. 3-bagger to start. The Turkey 32 pin lead. Chance for 42 pin advantage.
And he hasn't missed on this lane since he started.
Trying to stay hot. That's high. 6-10.
Well, his first bad shot on that lane leaves the 6-10. He said good break. That means he made a bad shot. Right through the heart. Fortunately, didn't leave a split. Leaves just the 6-10. With a spare here, will maintain a 30-pin lead. 71%.
Trying to keep the number up. Look out, he chopped at the 10-pin stands. It's an open frame, and what an opportunity for Randy Pedersen now.
Now here is what happens when you don't throw a ball perfectly straight. You see a little bit of hook on there. That's why he chopped it off there. 6-10. Huge break for Randy Pedersen.
Commercial break.
It's exactly what you want to see when you're sitting down. Stop striking and leave an open frame. We've got a match.
Heard Patrick talking about the commercial break. You got to keep focused when you go away for a while. Gets a break.
Better, idiot. God, dog it. Come on, man.
Special thanks to Walt and Jim, the Dexter Shoe Company and Bowling President and Vice President, who are here with their great staff. An unbelievable job keeping everything rolling so smoothly all week long. Our special thanks to them and to our hosts at the Mohegan Sun. That's high as well, again through the nose for Randy.
On fire.
On fire, folks. Well, he's got the ball return to contend with. He's going to have to drift further left, right through the nose. 3-6-10. When a person says it's on fire, that means it's hooking a lot, and that means move left. There's a lot of management that goes on in this game, folks. You're not just managing how you play the lanes. You're managing emotions. You're managing your heart rate when you sit down for 2 or 3 minutes.
What to do?
21-pin lead. As we talked about, points are not available at this TOC, but 2 seasons of exemptions are. If you win the ABC Masters in Reno later in our season, 2 years. 3 years outside LA if you win the U.S. Open. And 5 years for the World Championship this year in Ypsilanti, Michigan on the Eastern Michigan University campus.
Corey, got to stay still, guys, okay? Like
These
little
are big
statues.
shots.
These are big shots. Hey, this one game is worth $70,000. 100 to first, 30 to second, and all that goes along with it. So a lot at stake here in the next 5 frames, and we've got a good match.
Good to see that Randy still got a sense of humor. Such an incredible moment. Down 21. Had to really hurry, and it was way light off the
You
head.
got to kill it so it doesn't hook early, but if you throw it too hard, it won't tip.
Well, in layman's terms, folks, that means he's a little lost on that lane. Just a little bit lost. But nonetheless, he's only 24 down. Anything can happen. He needs to make this spare. And he makes it perfectly.
Randy telling us how close he's come this year. In the last 5 weeks or so on tour, there have been certain moments where he's really stood up strong and said to himself, it won't happen again. I'm not going to fold again. Well, here is that sort of moment rapidly approaching us.
Patrick working on a strike with a strike here can increase his lead to 34 pins.
6th frame, looks for the double. The big 4 stand.
Good Lord, man. How much more is this lane going to hook?
6, 10.
Good shot. Threw it good.
Well, he said he threw it good. The lane's starting to hook right through the heart. 4, 6, 7, 10.
This is what it's about,
Nope.
I guess, right?
Count very important here. He needs to get 2 pins to keep his count at 2.
He'll get the 2, the 6-10, the 4-7 stand. Another open frame for Patrick Healey Jr. And things getting very interesting, folks. Today at 4 Eastern on ESPN, the top 15 contestants in bareback riding, steer wrestling, team roping, saddle bronc riding, tie-down roping, barrel racing, and bull riding are ready to compete at the Wrangler National Finals. Rodeo, don't miss the final round today at 4 Eastern, 1 on the West Coast. Here on ESPN. For more, log on to ESPN.com. It's coming in from Vegas later.
Folks, 4 frames to go. 10-pin match. At least they're making it interesting. That's what the fans like.
4 stands.
Shot.
Well, not a bad shot. We've seen that's just to the right of the 6th arrow. He's going to have to move a little further left. Chase the oil. Keep moving left. Keep moving left.
50-foot lane pattern. Great look, lane level from our crew. How the ball grab the friction at the end, then try to head to the pocket, but it came a little high. Leaves the 4-pin, and he takes care of his mark. 10-pin lead. Randy works on a spare, 7th frame. Teresa, who has had so much experience internationally bowling for Mexico, has spoken at length with Patrick about this is your moment and your time.
Well, 4 frames to go. The way this match is shaping up, Randy will be the first one to finish. And he's going to finish on the left lane that he's having trouble with, so he needs to get it going now.
Help on
Gets
the
light
5.
hit.
Oh, the paralyzing 5 goes down late.
That's a really good move he made over there.
So
Let's see if he can hit this lane.
every strike important right now. Every single one of them. 3 frames to go. He's only 10 pins down. A strike here, and it's all even.
Wow. 8th frame. You want drama? You want pressure? Folks, don't go anywhere. Buckle up. You've got it. With a PBA. But that is light.
God, he threw that terrible.
That's a washout.
Come on, spread up.
Well, you could see it come
Way
off his
too
hand.
fast.
He just didn't catch it. Randy at a rev rate probably 15 or 16. That looked like it revved about 11 or 12. He just didn't catch it, but not that difficult of a spare. Needs to get it to the left of the head pin, which he did.
Oh, no. For Randy, the 10 stands and another open frame, and late in the match, that can absolutely be fatal after his washout ball.
Well, just didn't catch enough of the head pin to go to the wall and knock it out. Dug himself a little hole. It's not too late. Patrick Healey with a 22-pin lead.
8th frame. Works on a spare. The numbers so far.
Yeah! More ball speed. Good shot.
Off the ball change, and Teresa and Victor, his wife and stepson, know how crucial that was.
Right about on the 29th board. Perfect. And here's what it is, folks. 2 frames to go. If Patrick strikes on this next ball, he can afford to go up in the 10th frame and simply spare to win. Randy would have to strike out to make him do that. Anything less than a strike on this ball, Randy can still go up and strike out and make Patrick perform in the 10th frame. A lot of drama. Anything can happen.
Opportunity, 32-pin lead. He's on a 192 pace, folks. Big ball.
Yeah! Huge shot for Patrick Healey Jr., and he did it just perfect. Just right of the 6th arrow again. Result absolutely perfect. And are they happy? Look at that. They know how important that is. They know how to keep score in bowling, folks. Randy now must strike on the next 3 balls to have any chance.
Here's the first. Had to hurry. Gets a break. 7 goes down a little bit late.
He got the first one.
He did get the first of 3.
Come on, right here. 3 here. Never know.
Remember, against
three,
Steve
though.
Wilson, round of 8.
190, 200.
He's doing the math
Shots right
as he
here.
usually does with us in the booth. He needed 3 as well in the 10th. Did it against Steve Wilson last night in the round of 8. Survived.
Well, he needs 3 of them to make Patrick feel this one he must have. He must have this.
It's better.
Gets it.
One more. Come on. Let's go. One more right there. One more, buddy. Boy, if you could have thrown that shot in the 8th.
Much
Would've been
better
game
shot
on.
there.
One more.
with a strike here, that will force Patrick Healey to get a mark in the 10th frame. Spare or strike. And folks, for $70,000 difference, that's not easy. But he must get this strike.
And the exemption. So much to be gained.
Yeah! Oh, he got the light hit!
Help on the 7-pin. Number 7 goes down late. And he forces Patrick Healey.
Come on.
To spare.
10.
Or strike to win
10.
coming up.
Right here. Come on.
Okay, count is important. He needs to get at least 9 pins on this next ball. Anything less than Patrick can go up and get 9 and miss it and still win. So he needs to get at least 9 pins.
Lane coming up. Patrick Healey has had some struggles. 2 open frames. How will it play out? Double wood on the 2 and the 8.
8, that gives him a score of 188. That means 9 pins on this first ball, and Patrick Healey will win, whether he makes it or not. Anything less than 9, it's anybody's game.
This lane has given Healey some fits.
This is a very defining moment in a player's career when you're in this situation. It's a different feeling when you need only a spare than when you need a strike.
Patrick Healey Jr. has done it. He responds to the moment. He is the Dexter Tournament of Champion winner. What a shot. What a moment.
He gave it room. He trusted it. Let the pins dance. Got the light hit for all the money.
Maybe that, boy.
Teresa and Victor.
Great ball. Thanks, man. Thanks, buddy.
Just saw Patrick Healey Jr. win $100,000.
I know you are. Thanks a lot. You bet, man.
First major, 3rd career title, 2nd title of the season, and he can tack on another year to his exemption as well.
That's one guy that's going to have a very Merry Christmas right there.
How many pesos is he bringing back to Mexico City? Plenty. What a moment for Patrick Healey Jr. and his wife, Teresa. He's a winner today. Live coverage of the PBA Dexter Tournament of Champions at Mohegan Sun is brought to you by Dexter Bowling, Golf, and Casual. We have the right shoe for you. By Miller High Life, live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the High Life. And by official candy bar of the PBA, Baby Ruth from Nestle, the real deal. By 222-188 score, Patrick Healey Jr. for the first time in his career is a major champion over our very own ESPN commentator Randy Pedersen. A happy family down below at Holly Road.
Well, we're here with Patrick, and Patrick, going into the 8th frame, you knew that Randy still was alive. What were you thinking?
I wasn't thinking about anything except my task at hand and making a good shot in the 10th frame. I counted on Randy striking out and making me show up. That's why we're professionals, as he said. So he did his job, and I did mine.
How were you able to strike out from that point?
Well, I kept my composure as best I could in the 10th frame, and it wasn't my best shot I've ever made, but it was good enough to knock 10 pins over. So under the circumstances, I'll take it.
What is it like to win your first major and to have your family at your side?
Well, it's priceless to have my family here to watch this and be with me. You know, they're so supportive in what they do and allow me to do my job the best I can. So, you know, if I have this as my first major with them here, it's like I said, it's priceless. I couldn't write the script any better.
You said that your wife is very hard on you, that she's a bowler as well. What good advice did she give you to win today?
Well, she got the whip out this morning and just told me to. She told me to run the race, and it's a sprint today, so just from the beginning be aggressive and go after him, and that's what I did.
Well, congratulations and enjoy your first major win.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like
$100,000, and Victor, who in February 24th turned 16, wants to drive. Well, I think his stepdad can afford a very nice new car. Be sure to join us on January 11th. The second half of the season kicks off in Tacoma, Washington for the Earl Anthony Classic. It's a 1 o'clock Eastern start. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Coming up next on ESPN, Trick Shot Magic Billiards. For the entire crew, Brian Voss, Holly Roach, Dave Ryan saying so long. What a moment.